SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time. In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Good day, viewers. Good day to you around the world. People of God, how are you? It's a beautiful Wednesday morning here in Milan, Italy. My name is Mark Godwin, and we're here on our SSM Wednesday Global Africa update. Joining me from Lagos, Nigeria is our man, Olayinka Raji. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Sir Mark. Good morning, viewers around the world. Welcome to our Wednesday program. Let's do it as usual.
Yes. Raji, do we have any update from Ghana on the election? What's new before on the campaign trail?
Oh, the campaign trail is very, very hot now. Nothing new, the same brickbat between Bauma, who is for the MPP, and Mahama, who is trying to do a comeback on the NDC. The other parties are not that prominent, but those are the two, Baumia and Mahama, and both of them are from the north.
Mm-hmm. Both of them are from the north. Okay, yes. Please keep your eyes on the campaign trail. Let's know what's happening. Yes. December the 7th is almost here, and what happens in Ghana affects Africa. So we need to put our eyes on that one too. Yeah, let's go on to our news Wednesday African news update. So viewers, you are tuned in again to today, the 20th November 2024, our African update. Joining us from faraway Lagos, Nigeria is our diva, BD Nana. BD, can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can hear you. I can see you. Good morning, Massive Matt, Saraji, our viewers. Nice to having us today.
Yes.
Good morning.
You are welcome.
Good morning, BD. Yes.
All right, gentlemen, lady. Let's go on with some news from Nigeria. We thought Boko Haram probably has gone on holiday, but what we had yesterday morning was, I think, it's a power game Boko Haram is trying to play, being that there's a new terrorist group also emerging from Kebbi State. So they want to tell people that they are still around, very much around. So yesterday we had Boko Haram attacking a military camp in Borno. Borno State is not Nigeria, and they killed, so far what we've heard is 20 soldiers have been dead, but they said the number is more than that. Gentlemen, tell us what is happening in Borno State. What is Boko Haram doing again? Raji, let's hear from you first. Boko Haram, yes, Borno State attack.
Yes, I actually do not understand how our military is engaging these Boko Haram people.
Okay.
If I believe that if there was more diligence in their prosecution, Boko Haram would have been eliminated by now. But we keep hearing that the Boko Haram people are within the people. They are protected by the people, and it's a very, very serious war. In fact, it's a very, very serious case where the Boko Haram has liberty to attack military installations and kill soldiers without much repercussion from the soldiers, as much repercussion as I would have expected them when certain incidents happened in the southeast and the south. Yes.
Yes, yes. It's a serious thing. I mean, it was a major attack on the north of Nigeria, and what the government is saying is the government press is 20, but like you all know, when there is that figure, it's probably more than that. Bidi, is it that Boko Haram wants to be relevant since they know other terrorist group are springing up? Bidi, tell us, what's this attack yesterday?
There's nothing like being relevant. Boko Haram has always been there. It's just the government that has spoken to the media. They tell them to play down on how they report the activities of Boko Haram in Nigeria. So there's not. They've always been there, and the attack has been ongoing. It's not something that actually stopped at any time. What you see, or maybe it looks like they are no longer, it's because the government has issued warning to media houses and the journalists and reporters to play down on reporting the issues of Boko Haram. So they said they killed 5 soldiers. That was what they told us, but the indigenous told us that it's more. They killed 5 soldiers. About 3 soldiers are missing. They injured 20. That's the report they gave us. Like things I'm tired of talking about, and we keep getting this news, and it keep happening until Nigerian governments are ready to deal with this issue of Boko Haram. We know what is happening in Nigeria with the Boko Haram, and not like you said, like Sir Raji said. I'm happy it's happening in northern parts of Nigeria, because if this thing had happened in the eastern or southwest, we know what happened in Okwama. We know how communities, people were burnt and houses were burnt, killed. Do you understand? Because it happened in the area that they feel irrelevant in the society, in the country called Nigeria. This thing happened in the north every time. They killed our soldiers, they killed our policemen, and nothing has been done about it. And they keep doing it. It's not as if government does not know what is happening. People who are doing this, they know, but they decided to pretend as if they don't know what is going on. So I feel for the family who lost their loved ones.
Okay, Bidi, yes, but I would rather use the word. We want you to use the word. I'm happy it happened to the Northerners, because it is the political group that makes those decisions, not the ordinary citizens that are just there. What we'll probably say, okay, yeah, you want to reiterate that
I want
statement?
you to understand the points I'm making. Yeah, why I said I'm happy is happening there, because they won't have to kill innocent people. That's the point I'm making. Because if it happened in southeast or south
or the southeast,
innocent people who did not know anything would die along it. Do you understand? That's the point. That's the point I'm making about it. It's not as if I'm happy. No, I'm not happy that people are dying, and our soldiers who are meant to protect us. No, I'm not happy. What I'm saying that I'm happy is happening there, so other people will not die for what they don't know. Who know we're here? The Okwama incident is still fresh in our brain. How they wiped down a community, how they killed people who don't know anything about it, how they killed people who are passing by, who are not even from Okwama. Do you understand? So that's why I made that statement I made, because it's happening not now. Innocent people are not going to go down for it. That was why I made that statement.
Thank you very much.
It's a valid statement.
Okay.
Yes.
It's
a valid statement.
But because we don't know who is listening, we don't want it to look like we're being emotional.
Anybody listen. Let anybody listen, and let them know this is how people feel.
Say something. Whoever that is listening, if the person is not in Nigeria, the person must know what is going on in Nigeria.
No. With your last
anybody
statement
that is
now,
listening, if the person
you
is not
explained it well. Yes, with your last comment, it was well put. Say that it is the after effects, the repercussions, and what will happen if it were in another region of Nigeria. That's that's good. Yes.
Sir Mark.
Yes.
There are more. There are far more military checkpoints in the southeast than there are in the whole of the north. There are far more military checkpoints just in the southeast than there are in the whole of the north. Where insurgency, where terrorism is running rampage.
It's ravaging.
Whenever something small happens in the southeast,
the whole of
you see
north,
the repercussions.
The whole of north is how many states? 19 states. But south is just 5 states. And they have more checkpoints in southeast. You cannot make a journey of 5 minutes without passing like 10 checkpoints. Now I ask them, what is happening? The people that need these checkpoints, they are not giving it to them, but they brought them to southeast just to weaken them, just to bring them down. If you check, and if we tell ourselves the truth, every problem that is happening in southeast is motivated by something, by government interests, by external interference. They keep making it look like southeast is the problem, but it's not the southeast. I'm telling you. And once they do it, the first thing they will do, they will label it IPOB. They will label it Biafra agitators. And they know that it's not them that is doing this thing. Do you understand? It is too bad. And we say
they are also wreaking havoc in the southeast.
They are not wreaking any havoc. I'll stand here and tell you, IPOB is not wreaking any havoc. No. I disagree to that. Can I say? They are not wreaking any havoc. Now, let me tell you something. It is not only a tree that you say, I will kill, and the person will stand and watch you kill the tree. They are not wreaking any havoc. Any havoc you see coming from IPOB, it is a reprisal attack. They don't just stay an attack. It's because when this government, when these security officers come, they come in the pretense of trying to protect people.
But Didi, we saw what happened on Monday.
What happened
on
Monday?
Abatete region
whatever you saw on Monday is what is because of the publicity it is giving. What is happening in the north, and no publicity is just given to it.
God bless you.
Well, I just mentioned that reportage on certain things happening in the north.
To emphasize what is happening in southeast as if it's a problem, as if the people of the southeast are the problem. Whereas it's the Nigerian government that is putting that problem in the southeast and making. Now look at it. There's one guy I saw on social media. The guy keep making videos saying, "Oh, I'm in Hiala. They are shooting. They are dying." At the time this guy was saying this thing, I was in the east. And I'm a very inquisitive person. I went to Hiala. And I was there saying, please, where is this thing happening here? And I want to do this story. Do you understand?
That is one out of many. What we have here are verified videos of the sit at home Monday enforcement plan by the IPOB.
Listen,
and we see mad, gruesome killings. We see destruction of marketplaces and houses. And these are the same IPOB. They are speaking Igbo. They are wreaking this havoc. And these are their people.
Massive Mac, let me tell you the story. I am not saying they are not Igbos. Massive Mac, everybody knows what is happening in Nigeria. We have an external body, a very big external body in this country now who are sponsoring attack, who are sponsoring problem in all political parties, in all regions, to make it look like the regions are the problem. Now, let me tell you, Massive Mac, you have a son, a child you so much love. Why do we even have sit at home in Nigeria? Don't we know? If it's your son that they arrested for just speaking the truth, say, let my people be. They arrested him. Will you go in and sit? Will you go?
That's true. Anyway, yes. Let's not go off. Let's not go off the.
Releasing Nandikano. Then, if Nigerian government want peace, they should release Nandikano and see if that's. No. I hate some people come and make it look like. They are pushing them into that problem. And when you push somebody, will give you what you want.
Okay.
Madam Bidi,
if that's sit at home, you will not stop tomorrow.
Madam Bidi,
Mhm.
Madam Bidi, Nnamdi
Go ahead.
Kanu's case is a very touchy political case.
Okay.
I'll be calling for Nnamdi Kanu's release. If when he was given bail, he did not jump bail. The moment he jumped bail, the whole case became different. When a policeman arrests you, an innocent man, you are arrested and you are taken to court and you are given bail. You are still innocent. But the moment you jump bail, you become a criminal.
Nnamdi Kanu said his life was at stake. They are coming to kill him.
Please, let me respond to Sir
No matter what you say,
Please,
the moment
just
you
1
jump bail,
minute, 1 minute,
Let's
1 minute,
let's
1 minute,
let's
please,
hold
1
on.
minute,
Let's go to
1
the
minute,
news.
please, 1
It's
minute,
not
1 minute,
okay. Go
please, I
ahead.
beg you,
Go ahead.
1 minute, 1
Go
minute.
ahead.
Sir Raji, Nnamdi Kanu did not just jump bail. Nnamdi Kanu was on bail. And Nigerian government sent Nigerian army to go to his house. They went there. Do you know the number of people they killed? Somebody that is on bail and he was in Nigeria, was in his house. They sent Nigerian army, they went to his house, they killed over 20 people. Then if it's you, Saraji, you stay there.
like my
Okay.
people will
No,
say,
answer my question. Will you stay there?
Gentlemen,
Madam Bidi, let me tell you something.
Nigerian
My
army,
people,
Nigerian government pushing him so he's running away.
my
Sorry.
people, Madam Bidi, my people will tell you that it's only God who can judge the case of a person who shares meat with his teeth. You know, the government is sharing meat with his teeth. Nnamdi Kanu is unfortunately is a victim, and the whole place. And because government has power, government can do and undo. But you cannot face there's no way any group of people can face government's power.
All right, gentlemen.
Violence for violence.
Let's not divert. Let's not go off the.
Yes. Okay.
news.
So, before you are taking so much time on this.
Yes. So yes, the violent clashes between the fighters and armed forces. The report says destruction of military vehicles were done, and some of the soldiers escaped, but 20 is what we have here as those that were killed. Sources said that the fighters seized also some of our vehicles, armed vehicles, and a quality number of weapons. You know, this is where I want us to bring those discussions to, including machine guns before they withdrew. Now, gentlemen,
how is it easy? How is it easy for terrorists to disarm Nigerian army people?
And take
there's
all
always
weapons.
a suspicion of complicity in the whole process. There's always a suspicion of complicity. We have known soldiers who will bring in terrorists to come and invade their barracks, and this is in the north. We know about all these things. So it is very. So at which point were the ammunition released to the soldiers in such a way that they were now being easily captured by terrorists? Before you can take any arm, they can take any quality arm from the armory. There's a process.
Yes.
So at which point were those ammunitions released to the soldiers in such a way that it was easy for the terrorists to disarm them and collect their arms? There's something not quite clear.
Very, very cogent questions we need to ask. This is where I want our discussion to actually head on, because this is the root cause of more insurgency, more deadly attacks, because they get access to these arms, they get access to our vehicles and all these things. We spend a lot of money, taxpayers' money, to buy. We put them at the storehouse, and these people come to pick it. And like you said, Raji, there is an insider that is cooperating with this, because really, I lived in the barracks. I'm a son of a soldier man. My mom, my dad, my parents were both soldiers, and I know how it is to get one arm out of the armory. You don't just go there and it's not open. It's not an open place. It's a place. It's like the vault where you put money to, you know. So how are these people getting this access and this happening? These are the questions we're asking. So anyway, go. You want to add to that, Raji? You want to add to that?
Yes, the same thing. And then it also shows how lax our security is, even around the barracks, around the National Defense Academy, and around all those places. Shows how very lax our security is. that if terrorists, and they are not just 2, 3, 4 people coming in, they may come in as more than 10, 20 to come and
Yes.
attack, and they just come in and attack and go free. No,
Free.
there's some complicity. There's some level of complicity.
There's some complicity. All right, gentlemen, and thank you. Let's move on to other news.
There have always been a complicity.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course, there has been always. We know how some of these soldiers, even the junior ones, comes out to cry and shout. And what do we get when they cry and make such accusations, even in a funny way? What do we have? We'll have some of them silenced. We'll have some of them dismissed. Of course, it's a known fact. But because we live in a country that we don't want to say the truth and wouldn't want the truth to come out to life. So it's not something that we say maybe. It is the truth. I feel for the family that are losing their loved ones.
Thank you, BD. So viewers, that's it. Boko Haram attacks military camp in Borno State, north of Nigeria, kills soldiers, many of them. We think the numbers are more than they say, but they say 20 for now. And sad, very, very sad. We find ourselves in this quagmire. Gentlemen, let's come to a little of let's bring it down. Yesterday we saw a video and it was a little bit touchy. Let's see the video before we continue. Okay, so anyway, what you're seeing is the Nigerian Senate, the National Assembly complex in Abuja, and yesterday the Assembly complex had a valedictory session held in honor of the late Dr. Patrick Ifeanyi. What you see there is a young man, 60-year-old man. Yes, he did his thing. He pulled very strong from the cradle, and now he's out. He's going to the grave. Ifeanyi was lawmaker who represented Anambra South, and that was him being laid at the National Assembly complex yesterday, November the 19th. So that's the casket of Ifeanyi. He passed away in the United Kingdom, July 27th, 2024. So this is life for you, viewers. This is how it ends. But we thank God for his life. He did some very impressive things, some real strong things. Raji, what will you say about Ifeanyi? Yes, you can unmute. Unmute your phone. Okay. Yes.
I wish him to rest in peace. And I wish his family God's strength and comfort. He was a very young man who had done a lot in the very short years. So many controversial and so many others commendable. But he lived a life. He lived. His life was rather cut short at 56 or so. Which is quite young. Yes.
Very young.
So rest in peace. Yes.
Thank you. BD, go ahead. Yes. What will you say about Ifeanyi?
I'll be talking to the family, the ones that are still living. I pray that God grant them the fortitude to bear this great loss. And like Sir Raji said, that you wish him to rest in peace. I honestly wish he will rest in peace, and honestly wish that the people of Southeast will allow him to be buried in peace, because there's a lot of controversy over this mess and bringing him home to bury him. Like the case we just, I wish him all the best. So let him rest in peace. That's what I wish. I pray for him.
Okay. Thank you very much. So Ifeanyi, he remained a lawmaker who represented Anambra South, and he had some session, a valedictory session yesterday at the National Assembly where he once worked. Thank you, gentlemen. This is it. That's how life goes. Okay, viewers, you're back. We're here on Wednesday SSM African Update. Let's come to some other Nigerian news again. Gentlemen, we saw yesterday the EFCC. EFCC is the Economic and Financial Crime Commission in Nigeria. Dismissed 2 of his officials over alleged corruption. This is all very unusual of that organization. You know, Raji, do you think this shows how transparent Olukayode, the chairman of EFCC, Olukayode, is? Does this show that he's ready to
without being sentimental? I want to say that those people who were sacked, their sins must have been so humongous that the EFCC couldn't cover it. Because inside that EFCC, a lot of them need to be hounded by EFCC themselves. There should be another body overlooking the FCC activities, because they seem to be a law unto themselves. There have been cases where they have retrieved stolen items from people, and these houses and things have been sold to their own cronies. There's so much criminality going on in EFCC that EFCC itself needs to be put under the microscope. Yes, those 2 people who they might have done what my people call a schedule. They might have done too much for them not to be covered.
A schedule.
Yes.
BD. Thank you, Brother Raji. That was really funny. The Olukayode, the chairman, said the members were dismissed due to alleged corruption. But one thing is, even though Raji said what he said, but one thing is, it shows that he is probably not in compliance with whatever his members does, his staff does. You know, he's not with them. What do you say? EFCC.
I totally disagree. I totally disagree with you on that. They say who come to equity must come with hands. Yes. See, what he just did is what we call a facelift. Trying to make Nigerians feel like, oh, we are working. I'm doing well. If Olukayode wants to work, we will know. See, let me tell you, like Saraji said, there's a lot of filthy hands, filthy officers in that EFCC. If you don't know it's that our major problem we have in Nigeria today is EFCC. I'm telling you, EFCC has become political. It's not longer what it was meant to be. So, well, they will wow us with, Nigerians, we are so feeble that little things, takes us off our feet. Now you see them celebrating him. Well, I don't know what to say, but this is not
just talking
compared to what's the kind of rottenness that is in that EFCC.
It's like, there should be another body overlooking the FCC.
Okay. There should be another body overlooking EFCC.
EFCC.
And yes, but if
that is happening there,
it's an anti-graft anyway. But there should be, like you said, that's very true.
The graft that is going on in that anti-graft community will make ONUC and others look childish.
Whoa.
Massive Mike, let me tell you, you see those 2 people they sacked, they were sacked to cover up some certain things. Go and mark it today. Those people that they sacked them to cover up some certain things. They are not the only people. EFCC is known for corruption in Nigeria now. That's why I keep, how can a corrupt officer be fighting corruption? It's not possible. So these things they did is just to wow Nigeria, say, oh, they are working. Nigeria, they're not working anything. If they work, if they start working, we will know.
If they start working, we will know. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Let's go on a small break. We'll be back. Viewers, you're tuning to SSM Wednesday, 28th November, African Updates. We'll be back.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerian soul are proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
This country has some of the most extraordinary culinary diversity in the world. I'm talking about Nigeria. This first dish is amala abula, made popular by the Yoruba people in southwest Nigeria. It starts with amala made from dried yam and then is covered in a variety of soups. Next we have ofe nsala, a white soup that is synonymous with the Igbo people of southeastern Nigeria. It goes best with fufu, or akbo as the Igbos call it. Next we have suya, the most well-known food of the Hausa and Fulani people of northern Nigeria. Meat is covered in a peanut-based powder called yaji and cooked over an open fire. This is banga and starch, a classic of the Urhobo people of Delta State. Lastly, we have onunu, a plantain-based swallow of the Izon people in South Nigeria. We are eating it with fisherman soup, popular throughout this whole region. And of course, we don't forget the jollof rice. This is popular everywhere in Nigeria. I think what makes Nigeria so great is the diversity of all the different people coming together. These beautiful ethnic groups living side by side, sharing culture and cuisine is what makes Nigeria such an amazing country to visit. Nigerians should be so proud of that cultural heritage, as there is so much more that unites than divides them. This is everything you need to marry a Nigerian girl. Her father gave me a list of 39 items which include a live goat. The first place I went was the bulk food market to gather the yam, palm oil, baskets of fruit, and dried fish known as eja osan. And it's not just one yam or liter of palm oil, I am buying large quantities. It was pouring rain and I rented boots to make it through the mud, but it is worth it to marry my beautiful bride. In Nigeria, they practice dowry for marriage, paid to the family. In the Yoruba culture, each item is symbolic and not really a payment to the family, but rather proving your worth to marry her. And prove it I did by next heading to the goat market, where I spoke with a house of men to find the meatiest goat. This is the one I picked, and surprisingly, the goat at only $40 is one of the cheapest items on the list. This can't be done in one day, so after the rain cleared, I went to Mushin Main Market to find the kola nut, both bitter and regular, the alligator pepper, the adun, which specifically said I needed to buy plenty, and bottle of raw honey, which symbolizes that our marriage will be sweet. Next, I had to gather biscuits, bulk packs of different drinks, wine, and semen schnapps, as well as a suitcase full of new clothes for my fiancé to prove I can provide for her in the marriage. And lastly, the marriage Bible, as God will always come first. It is possible to pay someone to buy these items, but for me, I wanted the experience myself. Finally, we brought all these items to the family home for the wedding day. It is not easy to marry a Yoruba girl, but my bride is strong, smart, loving, beautiful, and completely worth it.
SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time.
Yes, viewers, you are tuned back into SSM Wednesday. Today, the 20th of November. Raji, are you there? BD, are you there? Now let's do good. Let's do some international news also as it affects Nigerians and Africa. We're just getting an alert that the G20 organization has handed the leadership to South Africa. Do anybody have that update there? South Africa becomes runs the ship of the G20. So that's just a news of breaking news that just came in. Now, also there in G20, we heard something yesterday. Brazil made some arrests. These were soldiers, these were guards that were at the G20 guarding the event, but they had to pick them all up. You know why? Because in 2020, a coup was planned that was foiled. There was an assassination plan that didn't go. And the soldiers that were there at the G20 guarding presidents and all the head of states were all part of that plan, the coup. So we saw this happening yesterday. I don't know if the studio will get videos for us. So that means they were close to being, probably something would have happened if not for the prompt intervention of some security men. But these men were standing. They weren't like they were going to attack. They were standing in check as security officers, but they were alleged, all of them were all part of a gang in 2022 that wanted to do a mutiny. Raji, when security are breached like this, when you have this kind of lapses, what do you think? What is the remedy? How could they have prevented this? Any insight on some security check?
I don't think it was a lapse.
Okay.
Because when people are planning for you, you will never know. And there's hardly there's only so much you can do. And what part of what they could do was to be able to probably got a wind of it and arrest those people who they thought would be involved. It's like when a coup is planned anywhere. But I don't remember there being a coup in Brazil in all its history. And I'll be surprised if a coup is planned at this time.
If a coup is planned, well, it was
if it were in Argentina, yes, Argentina has been going through a lot of turbulence, but I can't recall a coup ever happening in Brazil, because Brazil has been quite stable for a long time.
Okay, thank you very much, Raji. Also, let's talk about this new leadership that has come to South Africa. G20 is a very powerful organization, and if you have the helms of affairs now being run by South Africa, do you think they will steer it well? Because we know Brazil has been doing a great job. Brazil has been carrying that leadership for some time. What will you say? Anyone?
Yeah, I think in spite of some disruptions in the affairs of South Africa, South Africa has been doing quite well economically and politically. And I think they deserve the headship. I'll be baffled if it were passed over to Nigeria, because we haven't gotten our act together. Our economy is in shambles. Our government keeps on borrowing and borrowing and borrowing without us seeing anything that they are doing with it. Their government is just a lot of gas, no substance. So I'll be baffled and I'll be ashamed if the G20 leadership had come to Nigeria. No, we are not on ourselves organized enough to lead any group of people.
Yeah, see, if you look at this leadership that was handed over to South Africa, I think they merit it, because if you talk about Africa, South Africa is one of the few countries in Africa that actually have a good foreign policy, unlike Nigeria. Do you understand? And this was put together by their foreign minister, Yusuf Tsuga. They deserve it. I am telling you, because if you talk about African countries, before you count like 3, 2, or 5, before you count to 5, South Africa must be among them. They got their ass together, political, economical, they know what they are doing. Unlike other countries, yes, we pride ourselves as the giant of Africa, but I think in that area of foreign policies, political and economic, I think South Africa is actually ahead.
We're ahead.
They deserve it. Congratulations to them. They deserve it.
Yeah, it's the same reason why they are in BRICS and we are not. We are just apprentices.
The same reason why we
are sitting at the table.
I wanted to talk about that. They are the only African country that was well recognized in that summit.
BRICS, yes.
That's the end. Now, our president President left Nigeria on Monday for this summit. I don't understand what is happening. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu left Nigeria on Monday. Today is Wednesday for this summit. And South Africa is the only African country that was well recognized at this summit. So what's happening? Maybe probably somebody should tell me what I don't know.
Oh, but our president arrived in Brazil. Was with his wife, and they were both welcomed with flowers and drums and things. So they were quite recognized, even though our president keeps on shrinking inside, but
Keeps
for
on
the
shrinking.
agbada he wears.
What did you say? Our president is
Agbada he wears.
Actually, they will come for you. I hope President of the Republic of Nigeria. He's shaking his sides.
So yes, no, maybe he's also using the agbada to cover up, cover some,
augment
you know,
his size, yes.
It's some irregularities.
More volume.
To cover irregularities.
Anyway, viewers, we are discussing the G20 as it affects Africa. Now, South Africa, the breaking news is South Africa now heads the G20. The South African president will now be the chairperson, the head man, and the sheep of that strong organization. Gentlemen, let's come to other issues as it affects us. Let's talk business now. Yesterday, there was a news that WTO is raising concern over Nigeria's custom practice, and they're asking for reforms so that trade can improve. They probably came to our ports and business centers and noticed that, number one, they said they have to review the custom procedures, citing high inspection rates and trade delay. Yes. Number two is they urge the country to review its custom, also the timely and cost-effective practice of the custom. So let's talk about this, gentlemen. WTO, we know our sister is there, even though the man that brought this message to us is the custom, is the WTO. I think he's the head of one department there in WTO. So what will you guys say?
When you come to our customs, you know, the customs recently boasted that they've had more than 5 trillion income.
Okay.
There's no item, there's no nothing that comes into our ports that does not eventually incur demurrage, because there's a deliberate delay in bringing in things to cause demurrage for the importer. Okay. It will cost us so much time for the ships to offload. And what's is it cost the average Nigerian export about 10 days at the port before the shipment is made. So that if you are shipping out perishable goods like yam, most of the yam will have cooked in the containers before they got onto the ship. Yes, indeed, there are serious things have to be. The Nigerian customs should not even be looking at custom duties and how much they can get from the importers and exporters, but they should look at the ease of movement of all those products. When you get to a Ghanaian port, you are exporting yam. It doesn't take more than 2 days for it to go off.
Okay.
When it comes to Nigeria, it will take nothing less than 10 days for it to get in. When you import something into a Ghanaian port, it takes a maximum of 1 week for everything to be out. In Nigeria, it will enter demurrage before you get your things out.
This is serious. Raji, you seem to have some good insight on this issue. So now WTO is coming in. WTO shouldn't come in, but probably they've seen that it's getting very, very is getting real bad, and now they are giving their advice to help trade and to help improve how we do business and all these whole things you've said to boost trade efficiency, like they say. Raji, another thing I want to ask is this: do you think that this whole thing can be, like WTO has outlined what should be corrected? Do you think we will apply to those suggestions? Can we do it?
They have vested interest at the customs, at our ports, at our exit ports, that will make it very difficult to implement. They have vested interest. In September, I traveled by road from Lagos to Ghana. I could see the number of checkpoints between Ota.
Lagos to Ghana. That means you pass through Togo, Benin, then Ghana. Is that how you went?
Yes. You can count the number of checkpoints between Ota and Idiroko. Almost every 1 kilometer there's a checkpoint, and checkpoint mounted by almost the same people with different grades.
Okay.
And every vehicle going through that point has to drop something.
Sure.
The same thing when you are coming in, same thing when you are going out. Throughout the distance from Seme to the Benin Togo border, I could hardly count more than 1 or 2 points. In fact, the checkpoint was at the border. Then after the border between Togo, between Benin Republic and Togo, there's hardly any checkpoint until you get to the border. Between Aflao, between the Togo border and the Aflao, which is the Ghana border, you don't get anything until you get to the border. But it's not the same thing when you enter Nigeria.
Imagine, but sometimes you wonder what is our own, what is our problem? Why can't we just do things the way it's done?
There are too many vested interests who are fleecing the exporter, who are fleecing the importer.
And now,
making things very difficult.
It's a huge number there. WTO is putting its eye on it, and they want things to be reviewed. Custom procedures, a lot of things should be reviewed. And they say it will also it will bring a boost to our own trade efficiency. Imagine. So something that will help us indirectly is what they're telling us now.
Do you know that there was a time when Nigerians bringing goods into the country would rather go and bet in Benin Republic than come to Apapa because of the ease of process of getting their goods out?
Sure.
Yes. It's cheaper for them, it's better for them. So they go to there.
It's cheaper for them and better for them.
Yes, it's better, yes.
Oh dear. Okay. Thank you very much, Raji. Raji, like I said, it looks as if are you an agent? Are you a clearing agent?
No, I'm not. No, but I'm interested in trade.
Yes,
in trade and the bottlenecks that are put on into the process.
Into the process. One thing is, the southwest of Nigeria, they are good with trade. I mean, when it comes to, I don't mean the business one of the southeast, the logistics of trading and some of the behind, and it's important, Raji. These are, our government will be doing things, clueless things that will not get any. But these things we're saying now, this thing WTO is bringing up to us, could increase our GDP, better a lot of lives, better the economy, and but they prefer to go and borrow money and put us into more troubles. Okay, Raji, thank you very much. Raji, let's talk about some other issues. Dangote says he's seeking for billions of dollars to boost his refinery production capacity. amid the crude supply challenge he's facing. Raji, just give us a small one on that. What's happening?
My O-level economics
Okay.
taught me that if you want to set up an industry, you have
Yes.
to be very, very sure of your supply line.
Okay.
Now, if you're Dangote as a billionaire known worldwide, is setting up a refinery, and you set up a 650,000 liter single stream refinery in
Okay.
Lagos.
Okay.
Did he ensure that his supply line will be easy?
Easy.
How was he going to get 650,000 barrels of crude oil
Crude oil.
almost every
Crude
week?
oil.
I'm not
Almost
talking
every week.
every day, almost every week. 650,000 barrels. It's not small. It's not small. If it was going to depend on the supply from Nigeria, I'm sure it would have scaled down, probably scaled down that refinery rather than make it so humongous. The total refined capacity that whole Nigeria had at one point was 450,000 barrels, which was divided between the three refineries in Warri, Port Harcourt, and Kaduna. And even that, sometimes we're not able to meet that supply logistics.
Logistics.
So I wonder how he came to that 650,000 barrels, and I'm not surprised that he's having supply logistics, because even if he's going to get his supply from Venezuela, from anywhere, look at the time value of money between when he asks for the supply and when the supply eventually comes, and the cost of transportation.
The cost of transportation.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. You broke it down because you're there. You're following that situation. Our time is running out, but we still have some small things to talk. Raji, let's talk about what's happening in Delta State. Delta State former governor Ifeanyi Okowa has been said to have misappropriated 1.3 trillion naira. 1.3 trillion naira in that's the fund that comes to the state. So, and the total of that fund is 2.6 trillion. Now 1.3 trillion has not been cannot be accounted for. Raji, this is the same story over and over again. We hear about these governors when they leave, so amount of money, it cannot be found, cannot be accounted for. And now this is Okowa. What we know is Okowa was seeking to be the vice president under the PDP presidential platform, running with Atiku. It's alleged that he probably pumped some money to the party so that they can run the election. Raji, what do you say? Let's round up with this. What's your take on this? Okowa, Delta State.
For a small state like Delta, with so
Delta
much
is not
money.
a small state, though. That's the engine house of Nigeria. I mean, one of the engine house of Nigeria. Go ahead, Raji.
I'm talking about size. I'm talking about size and population. For that state with so much money, and to have a governor, supposedly a medical doctor, I believe.
Yes, I think
who
so.
have thought that he has some sense. You have thought that he has some sense. But how can you even want to be VP to Atiku when you know that there's a sort of arrangement between the North and the South about a rotational presidency, and that we just had one Buhari in place for 8 years. There's no way that another Fulani man or anybody from the North could have come up and be voted for as president. Any Southerner who wanted to be a VP to such a candidate must have his brains examined. And if if he is still in the childbearing age, must be castrated so that he will not produce his own kind again.
Raji, you're going very far.
It is very, very serious. It's a very, very serious matter. We don't take matters seriously in this country. How can a
Anyway,
supposedly
Raji,
educated Nigerian, Okowa, Dr. Okowa,
yes, anyway, it's terrible.
there's some insanity that should not be acceptable.
Yeah, that's 50% of the allocation, federal allocation fund that comes to Delta State. The whole money was taken to one man's account. Anyway, it is still being alleged. We're still following the story. He says it is a target on him because they think he probably will come up also in 2027. So they want to silence him completely.
Come up 2027 as what? 2027 as what?
As president, as the president, or maybe a senator.
His head needs to be more. His head needs to be examined again.
Now that state have suffered a lot. Remember, James Ibori had similar story. James' own was even more than this. James was wreaking havoc all corner of Delta State treasury, and it's sad, Raji. Raji, thank you very much. Raji, is there anything you want to add to all we've said? The viewers are listening. Is there anything you think?
Yes.
We didn't
especially about
yes. Go ahead.
Especially about the customs, the Boko Haram issues, and the treatment of most people in the southeast. Now, for Boko Haram, the governors on the north know these things. They know these people. The Nigerian security forces is overly controlled by most people, a lot of people from the north.
Yes.
If they cannot stop Boko Haram insurgency in the north, then there's something wrong with them.
Yes.
There's something wrong with them because I've never seen. There have never been. The last time when there was a case about the tax reforms, the whole 19 governors of the north came together against it.
Yes.
They have never come together against the insurgency that is ravaging the whole of the north. They have rather asked for a treatment like what happened with the Niger Delta insurgency, so that there should be a Northwest Development Commission, Northeast Development Commission, which has been granted them. So how do you get development for your state when you are devastating the state, when you're devastating the region? It flies in the face of simple logic. There's something wrong in the mentality of the people who will be thinking that way.
Yes.
For it's unfortunate that a lot of the soldiers that are being wasted in all this insurgency, a lot of them are coming from the south.
That's the sad thing.
Let the north bring up their own people to make sure that they safeguard their region instead of sending them to the south and the southeast as armies of occupation.
Thank you.
As for the customs, customs and excise, let there be something done so that they could help the economy. The decentralized concentration of all the things in Apapa. There are other ports in the east that could that are just wasting. Yes.
Thank you very much. All right, Raji, beautiful. Today, I think maybe because you're all there alone, you really put things straight up into perspective. So viewers, this is it. We are here and we've done our thing. Wednesday, 20th November 2024. SSM African updates. Raji and myself, BD was earlier with us. We lost her somehow. Well, thank you for staying tuned. We'll come again Friday. Friday will be here on the international updates. We want to talk about Russia and Ukraine and what's happening. Raji, do you know Europeans are preparing for World War III? Yes. there's
There
the
must be something.
sign.
There must be something wrong. There must be something wrong with
Yes,
them.
Germany has mobilized defense. About 800,000 NATO troops are being put in the Kremlin, somewhere in the border. US is also announcing that Russia should stop allowing long-range missile attack when US itself has given Ukraine the power to launch theirs. So a lot is happening in the international scene. Raji, let's come Friday. We'll talk about these things and put things as we normally do. So on this note, viewers, have a beautiful week, midweek. See you on Friday. Until then, bye-bye.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa. SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program brings to you our news stories, exclusive reporting, and SSM perspectives on the day's top news. Plus, the inside scoop on Africa's most important developing stories. Join us on Wednesdays, 11 a.m. West African time.